them and drew their neuropistols, non-lethal stun weapons. They'd stay behind with the shuttle once we'd disembarked and were sure the landing bay was secure. The other 6 security folks would accompany us to the reception at the Ubakai Ministry of Knowledge. I wasn't expecting high firepower trouble, but it always paid to be prepared. I closed my eyes and leaned back against the seat cushion. What was I expecting? Nut jobs, angry demonstrators, lone wolf with a death wish, sniper. Those were all in the realm of possibility. They'd never exactly happened to us here on Hazakatu, but they sometimes happened to other high profiles. The fact that a 10-year-old Varoki girl and my pregnant human wife were high profiles who might need this sort of security was proof enough to any sane person that this world had worms in its head. But that wasn't exactly news. Marissa must have sensed my thoughts. Her hand touched mine, and I opened my eyes and smiled at her. "Hey," I said. She squeezed my hand. "Everything will be fine." "I know. Just doing what I'm paid for, worrying. That's part of what the chief of security for the 2 highest-profile targets in the whole Kota Haz got paid for, but not all of it. I never take anything for granted, but tonight I figured the biggest threats were political, not violent. We were always prepared to deal with direct violence, but so far never had to. The political stuff was unrelenting, though, like mold, like rust. But politics was Marissa's department, not mine. I reached over and rested my hand on the swell of her belly, felt our future son kick, then kick again. Sitting on the other side of Mar, Tweezaa leaned forward and looked at me, her face serious, thoughtful. Then she leaned back in her seat. Tweezaa had just turned 10 the week before, which made her about 13 in Earth years. She'd shot up so fast the last 2 years she nearly reached my shoulder. When we first met, I carried her on my hip with one arm. Externally, Varoki are a lot like humans, upright bipeds with a head on top holding a brain and the same sensory organs we have. Their sloping foreheads and lack of a protruding nose, their hairless, iridescent skin, the large leaf-like ears and those long, slender fingers made humans take one look and think lizard, even though Varoki have far less genetically in common with terrestrial lizards than we humans do. Tweezaa was dark of skin but still richly iridescent, and when the light hit her just right she seemed to glow. Even when she was a little Varoki girl, she'd had an unself-conscious dignity that had me calling her the Dark Princess within a week of meeting her. I still thought of her that way. Tweezaa e-Traak was heir to probably the biggest fortune in Varoki history, and Marissa was her legal guardian and actually sat on the board of governors of AZ Simki-Traak Transstellar, the corporate crown jewel of the e-Traak family empire. She was the only human ever to have done so, and the only female. The idea of females having that much power in male-dominated Varoki society, and, in Marissa's case, a human female, pissed off millions of Varoki in more ways than I could count. That was one reason I was such a tight-ass about security. That and the fact Mar and Tweezaa were the only family I had still alive. The shuttle lifted its nose and decelerated, pushing us forward against our seat restraints, but we didn't level to land. I keyed my embedded comlink and pinged the shuttle pilot. "What's up, Kamal?" "We've got a temporary hold, Sasha. Some kind of disturbance at the VIP landing bay." "Okay," I answered, and looked around the cabin. Perimeter team still set up at the main hatch, 6 other bodyguards in formal wear still strapped in, all but one of the team human, everyone waiting for something to happen. Something wasn't right about this. "Kamal, how long does Traffic Con expect us to just hover out here?" The flag-off wasn't from Traffic Con. It was on a Muni tactical band." I felt the adrenaline surge as soon as he said it. "Put us in that landing bay, now! Emergency, my authority!" "Yes, sir," he answered, his own voice rising a note. The shuttle nose tipped down, and acceleration pressed us back in our seats just as the missile hit us. A deafening crack, sparks, whistle of shrapnel, smoke, screams, hiss of air rushing past, screech of metal as we plowed into something and then skidded across it to a halt. For a moment it was quiet under the flashing overhead orange and blue emergency lights. Everyone still alive.